Hey everyone, Bobby again, out behind the woodpile, having a little conversation with some folks a few minutes ago, and just led me to think about making this quick video about some of the things that we're facing as a people, as a citizenry. We were talking about how Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who was a mastermind of the 9/11 attacks, might not be facing the death penalty, and we were talking about how a gentleman up north in the state that I lived may have been killed or otherwise was killed by our government in a situation where maybe it didn't need to happen. And so I figured I'd have a little woodside chat with you about what we can do, what we should do, what we need to do, and frankly, ladies and gentlemen, the cuckoo's out of the clock, and we need to put it back in. It's the how we put it back in is really going to be what matters. Regardless if you're left or right or black or white or gay or straight, we're all in the same boat together. And we better wake up real quick to that realization that it literally is going to come down to good versus evil. It's the haves versus have-nots. And, whether you believe you're going to be in the dining car on the train because you belong to a certain political persuasion or you have a certain demographic or whatever. No, we're all going to be in the boxcar together, and that is something that history has taught us over and over and over again. And I wish I didn't have to make these videos, but I think I got to do something. There's so much pressure, there's so much air in this balloon that they keep blowing up every single day. And they can only do one or two things, right? They can stop blowing it up or they can let the air out, and they're refusing to do that. And we're getting to the point where the balloon, sooner or later, inevitably will pop. And a great mentor of mine told me what's predictable is preventable, and it's true. And we should be able to prevent this because we should easily see this as a reality that's soon approaching. And what do we do peacefully to make things better? Well, first you got to get your face out of your phone, right? It's number one. You better put the latte down and understand that we got to go to work together as a citizenry, as a people, and we need to find out who in the hell is asking for our consent, our vote. Everybody, from your neighborhood watch, your homeowner association, to all of the people that you have to send on your behalf to do your bidding. But we need to do more than that. We need to prepare, and we need to prepare on all levels. Spiritually, we need to prepare as well as physically and all these other things, right? In terms of getting our store in order, because there is going to be a day sooner or later that all of these chickens come home to roost, right? We shouldn't be talking about a certain person who's occupying a certain office. We shouldn't be identifying them as criminal or corrupt. And yes, I believe that they are all of those things. But what we should be talking about is they're treasonous, right? And so everybody knows, or if you don't know, I was a former police detective, former police officer. And in that capacity, when we identify a crime, we have to make sure that before we either A, arrest somebody or we submit a case on them, that we have met all the elements of the crime. And if you look at the definition of treason, it's basically aiding and abetting your enemy. And I don't know what other things could be done to illustrate that the fact that they have aided and abetted the enemy, to the fact that 2 years ago this month, they pulled out of Afghanistan, where 13 soldiers and airmen and Marines rather got killed, and they left all of the weaponry and equipment to the enemy. So they've armed the enemy. They've sold the strategic oil reserves to China to lower the gas for an election, essentially fueling the enemy. We depend on China for everything, including food, medicine, and everything. We've stripped ourselves of the ability to take care of ourselves. And most importantly, and worst of all, they've left the door to our country open. Now, I want to ask you, how many people here would leave their house open every single night? That's essentially what they did. They left our house open, and they've aided the enemy because we know we have tons of people that we don't know, millions of people that we don't know, but probably tons of terrorists. Nobody can put a number on it, quantify it, but we've got obvious terrorists and enemies of this country that are in your cities right now. So what do? Call things what they are. Put the cuckoo back in the clock. Don't let people tell you what you're seeing with your own eyes or what you're hearing with your own ears. You know exactly what you're seeing. You know what you're hearing. You know things that don't look right because they're not right, right? And so you need to go talk to your neighbor. Go talk to the people maybe that you don't like. Have a discussion with them. Get engaged, be respectful. But try to spread the news, if you will, because the news isn't good right now. And we all have this responsibility collectively to do this for our posterity, right? I'm a grandfather. At 55 years old, I'm retired. I would love nothing more to go bounce my grandchildren on my knee. That wasn't the cards I was dealt. When you're dealt cards, you have two options. You either play the cards that you were dealt or you fold. And I was never one to fold in my life, and I'm not going to start now. I'm an old dog. I can't learn new tricks. But that being said, with age does come wisdom, right? When I was a 20-something-year police officer, I had the world at my fingertips. I was, happy, thought the world was my job. I loved doing it until I started seeing some of the things that I don't like with my profession. Some of the things that I see going on right now with law enforcement, not just from a police perspective, but from a prosecutorial perspective, right? The Constitution is and always has been the supreme law of the land. And it is written for the people, by the people. And we are and always have been the final arbiters of our Constitution. So the first thing you should do is learn the damn Constitution, right? Find out what the actual powers of the government are and the powers to the people, right? And so this is first and foremost. Education, knowledge is power. You got to educate yourselves. You don't have a lot of time to do it. But if we do it now and we do it in such a manner that we can get out and spread the word, if you could just talk to 2-3 people a day and those people talk to 2-3 people, we can get this done. But it's going to take you getting off your duff to do it and get your face out of your phone, put your latte down, and instead of opening up your Instagram, do some research. And so it's just a little something that crossed my mind today. I thought I'd share with you, and I hope to implore you to do the same things, and together we can get this thing done. I tell you, I don't have all the answers, and I'll be the first one to admit it. I'm not a politician, but if I was, the first thing I would say is I don't have all the answers. But damn it, I'm going to put the people that do have the answers in power that can get this job done. That's my style of leadership, always has been. My father hit the beach at Normandy, went in the Army in 1939. He was 50 years old when he had me. He'd be 105 this year. And I remember going to school. He was 57, and he was telling me, Robbie, they're going to come through your schools. And they have, and they are. They got kids trying to secretly tell their teachers and teachers trying to secretly hide things from the parents. And this is not the way things are supposed to be, right? Those are not their children, those are our children. And something that I will always fight for will be the rights of mama bears and parents and the children, because they really are the future. So I want to thank everybody for letting me just bend your ear for a few minutes. I hope to upload this to my YouTube channel, and I wish you would spread it and share it, okay? Because this is something that it ain't nothing but a woodside chat, and it's kind of reminiscent because they always want to take us behind the woodpile. Well, frankly, I'm here. I'm been here, and I'm going to keep sharing these videos. I'm going to keep doing them and see if they gain some traction. If not, then I'll try another means. But I needed to do something to try to convince folks that we have very little time, and prayers and thoughts, good thoughts and prayers, bring them on. But those are not a strategy. Those are luxuries. Strategy is getting and putting our rubber to the road and getting out there and talking to our fellow citizens, because that is the one thing the enemy hates. They hate when we network. And these are the virtual taverns, these media outlets, these social media, the YouTubes, the Rumbles, the TikToks. These are literally our virtual taverns right now. And so let's use them. So God bless you, and I'll see you on the next one.